And welcome to The Escape, where we talk nothing but politics all day, all night, 24/7. We are your politics channel. Right, Adam?
Just give me a viceroy, a trade federation, and an episode one called Phantom Menace to watch, and we can do some politics.
Well, who doesn't want to talk trade routes, right? Because that's what the people want to hear about.
There's no underestimation. You were right on your first instinct, ladies and gentlemen. The prequel sucked.
All right. No, we do not talk about politics. Go talk about
It's like
politics somewhere else. Go listen to some
he
other
really
channel
wants
about.
to tell me that the prequels were okay right now.
No, like, look, I'm not fighting that battle. I'm not fighting that battle. I am not fighting any Star Wars battle anymore. That's how downtrodden I am now with Disney in general.
Can I get honest though for a minute though?
Yeah,
I was just being funny. Actually,
yeah.
the only
Adam was trying to get my goat, and I didn't take the bait.
no, well, not just your goat, any goat really, but to be honest with you, I liked Phantom Menace, I really do, and I think that the third one is the apology for the second one. Um,
Well, and that
but
was
I don't like the second one. I don't like it at all.
that was always my thing. Like I always said, I don't care because I know what we're getting in episode 3. I know where this is all going. I know, like, I was just waiting for that. I was like, I'll take all the shit. I'll take all the whatever. I was like, I'll take the stupid little kid. I'll take the stupid Gungans. I'll take, whatever. I'll take Yoda flipping around just as, fangasm bait, whatever, just to get to that fight at the end of episode 3. So,
But I remember Phantom Menace, and I think that if I put it on right now and watched it, it's just a fun movie. It is a
oh
fun
yeah,
movie. I mean, come on. You even though I joke and say Trade Federation and all this, that is the same scene where like there's only two of them. We won't survive this. Have you ever encountered a Jedi before? We won't survive this. And there's only two of these guys. And you and I we sat there in that silly earth science class talking about this when it hadn't even happened yet because we heard that it was being made. And in a lot of ways, the Phantom Menace delivered. I mean, the only crime really in that movie, I think, was Jar Jar Binks, and that was just because he was annoying. You could have kept his aesthetic and all that stuff the same to me. He just didn't have to be like chewing the
well,
scenery.
that was just one of those where I think George was trying to be like, I know what the people want. I'm in touch with my fan base. The kids are gonna love Jar Jar.
The,
And then everybody went like, no, we don't like him at all. And George was like, sorry. And so you notice how drastically he's cut throughout the rest of the trilogy, but that was totally like George is like, I know what my fans want. This
but
is
he
gonna be fun.
But George hung on. George stayed true to himself. You know why? Because he did make Jar Jar a senator. You may not
Oh
have
yeah.
heard from him, but he was a senator, Jar Jar. Like it or not, if you didn't like him, fine. You don't have to deal with him for the next. You don't have to deal with him in any more movies. But he will be a senator.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And somehow he's still gonna bring down the entire galactic and the galactic senate.
right. But
Uh yeah, well, and it's funny you say we were talking like we were in high school. So in earth science class, they had to be what, 98?
no,
Because
that was before that. That Earth Science class took place the year of the fall of '96, and they ended in the spring of '98 or '97.
97. So we were still 2 years out from
So we were in the 10th grade.
yeah. And then and then remember what happened cuz you'll never see this again. When just the trailer came out. Just the
Oh yeah,
trailer.
people
You had to
yeah
go to the theater just to watch the trailer.
people were sneaking in just to see the trailer. People were buying movie tickets just to see that trailer and then leaving.
Hey Nate, thanks for joining us. But yeah, it was I'd never seen nothing like that where like you went to the theater to go watch this stupid ass trailer. It's like, oh my gosh, like talk about like the hype machine of all hype machines. Like that was that was late 90s. So that was just
Hmm.
on the cusp of George re-releasing the 25th edition or 20 25th anniversary edition of all that, the reissues and
Yeah, so well, it
yeah,
would have been in
so,
97. 97 came out. Or 97 happened. That was 20 years from the first movie. So that was the 20th anniversary. And that's when
yeah,
he did. Now, that was funny. You reminded me of this a few beats back. There was someone, either he was a comedian or he was a YouTuber or maybe he was a friend of mine. I don't know. But it wasn't me. I didn't think of it. But he made a comparison that uh, you can see where George Lucas was this crazy maverick. This is the movie I want to get made, and it's made. And then 20 years later, I'm George Lucas, and I have kids, and I want them to be able to enjoy this. And Han Solo should be a hero. I was. This is George Lucas going, I should have been more responsible then and given them a better hero. And then he made Greedo fire first, and we all lost our minds.
yeah. That's the life comes at you pretty fast. Where you got the Maverick to I really want my kids to like this. It's like, oh,
Well, that's weird too, because you say life comes at you really fast. I didn't like Star Wars when I was a little kid. I couldn't get into it. I watched Spaceballs and I liked that, but I couldn't get into Star Wars as a little kid. By a year before I met you, uh, a mutual friend of ours introduced me to Star Wars because I was introducing him to Star Trek. So by the time I met you a year later, I was versed in my Star Wars, and you know what I mean. Uh so then that's 1994, 95, and in 1997, I watched Greedo Fire first.
like what the
Wait,
frick?
whoa! That's not the same movie I just saw. So it was fresh for me.
Yeah. Trying to bring like that's totally like that was one of the things I went hardcore like deny. I was like, no, like no, Han still shot first. Like no, he didn't. Like
Right.
do the frame by frame. You're like no, George screwed that one up.
And the thing about it is, though, too, I think it really showed, it made me a smarter audience member because that did change the movie. That little bit.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing like how it just little small tweaks like that can completely change a character. Where he went from a someone who goes from immediately from offensive to defensive, just that
Yeah.
little change where you're like, oh, like
In
that that's a huge change for a character.
in the original cut, it was voluntary manslaughter.
Right. Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's space western.
Right.
Like,
It
hey
is
man,
space.
I was gonna kill him because I knew he was gonna kill me, but like the whole
You had this.
ugh.
Well, they were just talking shit to each other at the table, and one guy pulled a piece and shot him.
Yeah, totally justified. It's cool.
Yep.
All
Most
right.
Isleys. I remember, what was that Jay said in that movie, the James Gunn? He's like, "Wait, I'm Chewbacca. You're such and such. You're the girl. We're that. Or no, you're Han Solo. No, how'd it go? You're Han Solo. I'm Chewbacca. You're Ben Kenobi. And we're sitting in that fucked up bar because it was Dogma. The woman was told by Alan Rickman, the angel, that she'd be visited by two prophets, and she had to go with them.
Right.
And they're like, I'm Chewbacca, he's Han Solo, you're Ben Kenobi, and we're in that fucked up bar.
All right, let's get on with what we're talking about. So, we're going to give our predictions for Wakanda Forever for the opening weekend. Is James Gunn actually going to listen to fans? And also, we're going to talk about comics and do you have any toys to review? Because I don't have anything new. The only thing I've still got is I'm still fawning over my last Ronin figure, but
I have plenty, but I don't have the presentations ready.
yeah, no problem. So we'll mainly just talk about comics after that. So, all right, real quick. So let's get on with James Gunn's been very public on his Twitter feed about what some of his plans are for the DC Studios moving forward. So let's So, from this one here. So, open up Twitter at the end of a long day, creative weekend, see many tweets to hashtag Save Legends Tomorrow and hashtag Release the Air Cuts. And fan support for other DC projects over the years. Majority of these requests were enthusiastic and respectful. Well done, fans. But all our initial focus is on the story going forward, hammering out the new DCU and telling the biggest story ever told across multiple films, television shows, and animated projects. We invite all of the DC fandoms from across the multiverse and everyone else as well into this new universe. We can't wait to reveal more. So one of the big things is, are we getting the air cut of Suicide Squad? Probably not. Should Legends of Tomorrow be saved? Probably not. But one of the things that's nice to see is he's actually paying attention to what fans kind of want to hear, want to see, and it's just kind of refreshing instead of being told by, let's just be honest, Marvel, hey, this is what you guys should watch. This is what you want. This is what you need. And instead of like, hey guys, like, what do you guys want? So,
See, here's the thing that intrigues me. At first, I shook my head, and I thought maybe that statement meant that they didn't have a plan. It's when he says, we invite all of the DC fandoms, which a DC fandom is your branch of DC. You're the comic branch, or you're a CW show, whatever. Maybe you're a movie.
animated features.
Right. Excuse me, folks. That was an accident. From across the multiverse and everyone else as well into our new universe. We can't wait to reveal more. So, first I shake my head and say, all right, maybe this is some more throw some bullshit at the wall and see what sticks. But then I also have to remember they've got a big problem over there with a specific movie that everybody is saying is very good. But it's got a bad lead in Ezra Miller, which is the Flash. And so they got this problem. And he says things. This is just a speculation in part and just a hope, or not even a hope, but anyone from all DC fandoms across the multiverse are invited. Could we possibly see Grant Gustin come fly by as the Flash? Or could we see them, replace Ezra Miller with a Wally West somehow?
Yeah, you could kind of take this.
You could take it any way you wanted to.
Well, and I think especially with everybody sees the shit show that was She-Hulk and the fallout from that show, where, hey, whatever, guys, you nerds. You guys suck. You guys were trolling, blah blah blah. We trolled the trolls. Did you though? Is that what everybody took out of the She-Hulk finale? It's like, oh yeah, you really got those nerds. You really got those trolls, or did y'all just look kind of like morons? Getting in the dirt with the actual trolls. It's just at certain points, like, you expect the grown-ups in the room to get a hold of people and be like, hey, someone's got to take the freaking high road here. And it seems like James Gunn is kind of going, hey, man, if you're a DC fan, dude, you're welcome. We're going to find a spot for you. It might not be in the films. It might not be in the TV shows. It might be in the comics. It might be in the animated features. Oh, you're going to have a spot here. No matter what you're into in DC, you're going to have a home. So,
do you know what the most successful DC movie television property is? Do you know what it is?
Not offhand, no.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, easy.
But, like, I don't mean that in like, that's my opinion. No, it's Peacemaker, whether we all like it or not.
Yeah.
Peacemaker's their number one most successful IP right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think
And
about.
the funny thing is, what, 3 years ago, no one even knew who Peacemaker was. So,
but it's the one thing they did right. Peacemaker to me is kind of like Iron Man in a way. Like when I talk about Iron Man, we liked Iron Man, right? Or at least we had a lot of respect for him. And the people that we knew that collected Marvel, they liked Iron Man. They know who he was. But after 2008, like, who'd ever thought everybody would like Iron Man? You
Well, that
know?
was the thing. Like, I remember trying to read, like, especially those early 2000. As the Nate said, I was going to guess Batman. I say that was a little low hanging fruit. Adam got you in that one, Nate. But
What? What?
he said Nate said he was going to guess Batman. But
Oh,
so, but yeah, who knew that you could take a character that essentially was such a deep cut character, and he's all of a sudden like like you said, the number one DC, one of the
right.
one of the best DC TV properties right now.
They marketed him right. Okay. John Cena has
I
fun
was,
playing him.
and that's something I want to get into because I was talking with our friend of the show Danny earlier, where you know everybody's like, "Oh, The Rock's such a big star," and such, he is. But you have to remember where he gets his start from. He got it in
Wrestling.
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 In wrestling, you are an independent contractor. You have to build a fan base on your own. Sure, the WWE is going to help like to like an extent, but you have to have that interaction. Like you have to get fans on your own. The WWE is not helping you, as the the what's it, the Attitude Era, where probably one of the big eras in wrestling, where you had so many fans, where like, hey, all those guys just based off their personas went and got their own fan base. Like if you make it huge in wrestling, there's a reason, because you know how to connect with people. You know how to connect with fans, and that's one of the things that as whether you want to say John Cena is whatever you want to say about John Cena's acting ability, which I thought he did okay. He did just
He
fine.
did fine.
I'm not going to say he should be up for any awards, but as far as portraying that character, I thought he did great. But John Cena is one of those guys where, kind of in the same vein now with Henry Cavill, he likes the character, he wants to be the character, and he is fantastic with fans. Like
Yeah, right.
I think, how many days in a row did he wear that stupid outfit just on like press junkets and like going to see, not that it's stupid, but to go see kids, and he wore that damn thing everywhere.
Right. He did.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool about John Cena? He's got the confidence to be the butt of the joke.
Well, that's the stuff. Honestly, that's the shit that goes so long. That goes so far, because everybody's used to the stupid Hollywood, Hollywood stars, where you see, the paparazzis or whatever, you see them like, being real, or now with the advent of social media, you actually get to see what people are like, and you're like, oh, that's disappointing,
Right.
But when you see someone like I said, I'll be perfectly honest, I was getting very sick of The Rock, but now, like, he's actually wanting to do more fan service for the DCEU and everything. I'll be right back. My dogs are crazy. I'm gonna let them.
You know what's funny? When we hit the react button like this, and Nick doesn't have his headphones on, he's like, "What?" It's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I was just talking to my nephew Patrick prior to the show, and he and I, it's hard to get excited for comic book movies right now. I'm not trying to be, down on it or anything like that, but I'm not excited for Wakanda Forever because, I don't know. I'm just not excited for it. I think that Nick is making a lot of strong points when he brings up changing, Namor's name and Namor's character and all this kind of stuff, and just to soften it. Why? Um, I don't understand why you would take the source material and soften it
And I'm
to
back.
appease who, you know. And let's all give a big round of applause.
Whoop, whoop.
But I guess what I was alluding to, Nick, while you were gone, is I was talking about my conversation with Patrick and how we're not really that too excited about the comic book films these days, and how about how that Wakanda Forever. I'm not that excited about it, and I was dialing back to how what you were saying about changing his name, and right, changing the meaning of his name and all that stuff. The Loveless Child, and what was he before? What was the name of it? What did
Uh,
he change from?
hold on. Yeah, he was okay. So this is part of the thing that's coming out with Namor. Sorry, Namor. He was Avenging Son in the comics. And he was the Atlantean Avenging Son.
Okay, Avenging Sun sounds pretty
So,
hardcore.
yeah, sounds pretty badass. I had to stuck
Yeah.
with that personally.
Okay, and what is he now? The Loveless Child.
He's now the Loveless Child.
Okay, so I feel bad for
Or no,
Loveless
I'm sorry,
Child.
the Boy Without Love. Sorry, the Boy
The
Without
boy,
Love.
the boy without love. I feel bad for any boy walking around that doesn't have anyone that doesn't love him. However,
Especially the fake ones, but yeah.
however, they're still going to make this guy an anti-hero, so now it's like he's got a victim-y sounding name, right? But before we dive into that, I was saying it's just the softening of it. Why do we have to soften out? Why do we have to soften the character? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like it's a
Yes.
Disney move. This is a Disney move. This is
Yeah.
a Disney thing. Like no one is saying that we're softening it on purpose. We're doing it because it's woke or whatever. No, but this is what Disney does. It does soften things, and they
It,
didn't. They didn't screw with. They didn't screw with like the original Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, but they didn't have to either.
no, no, because it was working.
Right.
And
Exactly.
this is this. I'm gonna guess this is mostly a huge product of the leadership over at Disney slash Marvel slash Star Wars right now, like people like Victoria Alonso, who has in the past said, "Oh, X Men, the term X Men is outdated and blah 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 blah, and should be changed." First of all, Adam, as you know, you were there. I was no math major, but I know in a math equation, typically X is the unknown. And I think that's just one of those terms that was meant to say, we don't know. It's meant to, that was kind of meant to be very vague. And, I think it's one of those things that really took off. So to say that, X-Men is, now misogynist, and I was just like, you're missing you're missing the entire point. And you clearly don't understand what the X-Men are trying to do, because it was literally, a mutant was like a metahuman, could literally, you could have multitudes of different people, races, sexes, having different power types. X was simply to say, we don't know. And now to say, oh no, it's this, I was like, you don't get it. And just like this, where, oh well, we're introducing this character. Well, let's make them more of a Aztec or more of a Mayan type of character. And instead of Namor, let's make it a lot more Latin. Let's Namor. Kind of, oh yeah,
Soften it up.
roll your R's, the more.
They're softening it up.
Yes, which is, like you said, I watched the last trailer for Wakanda Forever. Came out just, I think it was last night, and I watched it before I went to bed. I was like, this is the last chance. This is, suck me in. Get the juices going. Like like, come on, give me something. And it was just, I was like, this movie does nothing for me. The
Okay,
trailers do nothing for me.
so let me ask you this then. We talked about the X Men.
Yeah.
And the title X-Men, I always one interpretation I always liked about it was like they're not quite human anymore. They're not human. They're ex-human.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of the
They're they're
mutation,
they're the unknown.
or they're the next men. You know, there's always
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of. You know,
Sure.
you can throw 1,000 of them out there, but it is. You're right. It's unknown. But let me ask you. You know enough. You've at least read some X-Men comics, and you've seen the show. You know the spirit of this story.
Yeah.
You think that they could make an X-Men movie?
It
You
would.
think no?
It.
Let me finish. Where the
Okay.
X-Men
Sorry.
go to the beach, or maybe the X-Men are just in the backyard of the mansion playing some volleyball. Maybe you see them kind of swim their powers, and maybe they just talk a little bit about their powers and stuff. Maybe you see an X-Men movie where they're doing those things together and they're not sad. They're not anxiety ridden. They're just happy that they're in a haven. I've never seen that X-Men movie, but I sure as shit saw it in the cartoon, and I
Yeah.
sure as shit have seen it in the comic book. Again, I spoke last week on the show about things that I don't think are achievable anymore. Like we were talking about a good Kingdom Come movie. I don't think it's achievable because I don't think there's enough heads outside of asses that could make it happen.
Right.
I think the audience is totally capable of seeing Kingdom Come and interpreting it. And I think that the audience is totally entitled to a good, true X-Men movie. I don't think it's achievable right now.
Now with the leadership they have now.
No, because everybody's focused on what was it that worked? What was it that worked? What was it that worked? The problem is you got to find what works now.
Well, it's the whole problem that Star Wars has now. Star Wars currently on Disney Plus. Star Wars has a pretty decent Star Wars show on right now. Currently going Andor. Andor is one of the better things that they've put out. And guess what? Nobody's watching it because you've killed what was at one point, Adam. Can you imagine if we said 10 years ago, 12 years ago, at some point, Star Wars fans will be so apathetic to Star Wars, they don't even care that something Star Wars just came out.
I'd be like, no way.
You and I would say, that's bullshit. You're high. Get out of here.
Yeah.
In 10 years, they've done exactly that.
Well, not for nothing, man, but they've fucked the shit out of these Death Star plans. And they did you did a whole movie on it, and it was great. Now you're going to do a whole show on it, and from what I've heard, it's great. Yeah? Am I right?
No one cares.
But I know no one cares.
I say it's.
But you've watched
it. Besides Mandalorian, it's the second best thing that Disney, besides Rogue One, as far as Disney Plus programs, besides Mandalorian, this is the best thing that they've produced.
And you like it.
In quality, in storytelling, it's a good story. It really is.
Okay, so there you have it, folks.
And for me, it hits the intrigue, mystery, spy, thriller. Like, I love that stuff. It hits all those notes. And guess what? No one cares. I still haven't watched it all, and I'll watch it someday. Like, I'm a few episodes behind, but it's not like House of the Dragon was, where you feel like you're missing out on something. It's not like even like how Peacemaker was, where everybody, like, you had to keep up with your friends so that you were still kept in the loop with some of the stuff,
Yeah.
That's how much they have completely, I'll just say, betrayed the Star Wars fans. Because I think they literally thought, Kathleen Kennedy thought, you can just throw Star Wars in just about anything and the fans will eat it up. And as it turns out, you're dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where a lot of people are with Wakanda Forever, where they're like, oh, well, it's the next Marvel thing. And I still have friends. I got invited over the weekend. They were like, we're going to go see Wakanda Forever. Do you want to go? We're like, I think we got something going on. But but 2 years ago, I'd have been like, hell yeah, opening night, let's freaking go. And now I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you.
All right. So Adam, are you checking out Wakanda Forever opening weekend?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of I want to like for the show, but at the same time, like, golly, like
If I go to the
and,
movies this weekend, I'm seeing a horror movie.
yeah, I'll watch it. I'll go see Black Adam again. I don't care.
Yeah. I kind of did on accident. Well, here's what happened. I showed up to see Black Adam, and my tickets wouldn't work. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you bought tickets for a different theater, buddy.
Oh, I did that.
Was
We
like,
did that. I did that.
oh,
Yeah, I did that.
So yeah, I just bought my ticket there, and I saw it, and then I was like, you know what? I'll give The Rock $7 because it was a $7 ticket.
Yeah, I did that, but luckily
Oh.
our theaters were like a mile apart. So I'm like, sorry, I'm a moron. And my wife's like, yeah, that guy's the moron. I'm like, thank you for that. And then when we got there, my wife made sure to tell everybody that I was an idiot there too. So double the fun.
You should try to get in front of that.
I usually can, but
you just be like, wait. I'm dumb. I beat you, honey.
Yeah, I've got zero at this point being a stepdad and a husband. At this point, I've got zero problem being the moron. That's just how it goes. So, that being said, Adam, what would you guess? Because we'll do it two ways here. So, guess what you think the projections are, and what you think it's actually going to do this weekend.
The projections for Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, or do you want the projections and see how what you think that?
No, I bet you I think it's going to hit 200. I think it's going to hit 300 million, but I think they're going to want 5. I don't think you're going to get it.
Okay. So your guess is, I'm going to write it down. So Adam, your opening projection guess is
300 million.
You think Wakanda Forever is going to do 300?
Yeah.
All right, 300.
I don't think it'll do any less.
Okay, so I'll just say so. According to this, so Gamer Revolution, that's way over what they're expecting the opening weekend to be.
Really? Domestically, I'm talking all over.
Hold on. So let me pull this up.
I'm going for domestic and
you're going global.
Global.
You're going global.
Domestically, I say 47 million.
Okay. All right. So you're saying 300 global, 47 domestic.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, let's see here. A recent projection via THR predicts that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will become the second highest Marvel Cinematic Universe opening of the year, hitting 175 million across the 3-day weekend, just behind Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, which scored 187 million. So, but they're going to say this is every possibility Black Panther 2 could move beyond Doctor Strange's numbers, even touching the 200 million mark or slightly surpassing it if it does.
There's no way this movie isn't a success.
No, and that's kind of the thing. So, let's see here. So, Black Panther 2 is expected to rack up anywhere between 435 million to 543 million domestically. This is lower than Black Panther's domestic gross. See, even comparing it to the original Black Panther is a crime because that was such a cult, not a cult, but like a global phenomenon.
Oh yeah, it was a damn good movie too.
Not my favorite. Because that one scored 1.34 billion. So I'm gonna guess probably opening weekend. They're saying 175. I'm gonna go a little above. I'm gonna say right around 185 for my guess. 185, and then I'll say they'll do 75 domestically with the 3 days. So But I think, and this is the biggest thing, I think the fall off from weekend 2 is going to be astronomical.
You don't think it's going to have legs?
I don't think it's going to have legs at all.
Okay.
Because nothing Marvel has had legs this year.
Hey, but Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special's coming.
Woo! Very excited. Wait.
It's James Gunn.
Groot. What freaking version of Groot are we getting at this point?
I don't know. Hopefully
Is
he's
he a teenager? Is he a freaking a-hole still?
I don't know. Hopefully he's like 28 by now. Oh, my neck. It was a oof. I got a little neck injury, kids.
Adam's playing hurt. Appreciate him sticking by for the show. But yeah, I just Wakanda Forever. I just don't see it doing well. I think it's gonna start off, like I said, on fire. Everybody's all whoever's left as far as Marvel fans goes, they're gonna the normies are gonna go check this out. But overall, like, this doesn't have legs. I think it's going to be very similar to Thor: Love and Thunder when it comes to second weekend drop off.
Shit. Maybe on that drop off, but as far as storytelling goes, it can't be that. No, this will be better than that.
I think it'll be slightly better. It's going to be a different style of awful.
Slightly better. I don't know, man. I mean, you can still tell a good story even when you dumb down and water down some stuff. I mean, Wakanda is a cool place to look at. People are like always like, of 10 shot, like not, like Marines, how they're in formation and shit like that. Or like the Wakandans, they're in formation and stuff, and it's very interesting. It can't be that bad. Listen to me. Hold on so tight. Why are we in a weather? Why are we going around in a hot air balloon standing on wicker? Why are we doing this, folks? And that's exactly what it's like to be a Marvel Universe fan. You're in a hot air balloon floating around on wicker.
Yeah, it's going to be the culmination of by far the weakest of all the phases as far as the MCU, and I think it's I think a lot of people are be very happy when Phase 4 ends.
So imagine, if you will, that in the background here, Nick's you can see Nick's got the Lions helmet on the plaque, and then below it's got "Let's Go Lions," the three things right there. Oh, he's had the plaque there about as long as I remember him. So that's at least 20 plus years. So the other thing I'm not so sure about, it's new. Now, could you imagine that Nick takes that plaque around with him, the new one, everywhere he goes, and he leaves the old one home like an old toy? And then one night during the Christmas Eve celebration at his house, the family's over, the plaque, the Lion's helmet plaque comes floating into the room. And the three come floating in the room too. And one is jealous of the other's new relationship of Nick. And that's what happens with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's the funny thing, because if you just told that story completely out of context, be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then you'd be like, wait a minute, I got a movie to show you.
Exactly. If I just said that, that'd be like, Adam, what's your fucking point? Well, here's my point.
Be like, Adam,
happened in a movie.
You're high. You don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, hold up. Wait a second.
Not high.
I might be high, but I'm still right.
Right. But I'm not high. Any consolation. And that's exactly what the fuck happened in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a bad movie.
That's a bad movie.
That is Robin Hood Men in Tights literally saying, we're not a Mel Brooks movie.
That's almost as bad as Ocean's 12, where, hey, Julia Roberts, you look kind of like Julia Roberts in real life. So you're going to act like Julia Roberts to go get Bruce Willis to think that you're Julia Roberts. And it's like,
Wait, did they do that in that movie?
what the frick? Yes. Like, what the frick did I just watch?
So Julia Roberts was playing a character, and they said, "You look like Julia Roberts."
So, because what the part of the thing was, hey, here's Bruce Willis being Bruce Willis in real life. Hey, Julia Roberts' character, I can't remember her name right now.
And she could be Carrie.
Yeah, you look kind of like Julia Roberts. So why don't you act like Julia Roberts to make him think that to make Bruce Willis think you're Julia Roberts? It's like, please, please don't do this. Please don't do this, because I love Ocean's 11 and I wanted to like Ocean's 12. I was like, please don't do this, guys. Please stop doing this right. And they let it all play out.
You think that you could come over and fuck our wives, Mr. UPS man? Please tell me you saw that South Park.
Up yours, Trebek. I'd say the one part, but I don't want to. It comes off awkward.
What, in South Park?
I was thinking about the Saturday Night Live skits with Sean Connery.
Oh, okay. No. It was
the therapist. Be like, that's therapist. Damn it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Speaking of terrible moments in modern cinema, that's right up there for me. Is Wakanda Forever going to be right up there? I think it is, because it's
not like that.
No, it's going to be it's going to be a different level, because they're trying to cram, just like they tried to cram far too much with Love and Thunder. They're cramming far too much into Wakanda Forever. And one of the biggest complaints so far is, one of the reviews is, they spent too much time trying to set up other things, where this movie should be a very nice tribute to T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman. But at the end of the day, they should have recast the character. You should have introduced a new Black Panther. Sorry, people don't want to hear that, but the show must go on. You can't retire a character because of Chadwick Boseman.
There was a whole hashtag movement going called Recast T'Challa.
Yeah.
For Chadwick, to not let because it's an important character. The Black Panther is everything I always said and always do say. Every time they take a superhero character who's white and make him black, they always pass up a black superhero that they just let sit the fucking bench.
That is comic book fans. One of the biggest complaints is, you don't have to change. You have black characters. Just use the black characters.
We've seen Mr. Terrific in Arrow. That's it. I would love to see Mr. Terrific come out on in the big DCU. But
I can't. Adam, I am one of the reasons I am rooting for the Spawn movie. I want to see Jamie Foxx as Al Simmons. I want to see that.
So do I.
And I got nothing to do with what color the character is. I just think it's a freaking cool character, and I think Jamie Foxx is a fantastic actor.
Exactly. So I think it's important that they should have. You can have a new black actor play a Black Panther. No, that's not what I'm saying. Recast T'Challa.
Yeah.
That's it. Give us T'Challa, man. And
so you have a Black Panther movie, a Black Panther sequel with no Black Panther, at least no T'Challa. It's still sort of up in the air as to who Black Panther is. Most people assume it's Shuri. It could be a couple other characters. I can't think of them off the top of my head. So you have Namor, where it's not Namor anymore. You've completely changed the character. So
hi, Jay. Jason's here.
J Bone. Hello there. So so you've got a Black Panther movie with no Black Panther. You've got a Namor movie with no Namor, and you've got one of the worst recent characters, you know, to come out of Marvel, which is Riri Williams as Iron Man. No one wanted that. No one asked for that.
It's Ironheart, dude.
Of course it is. But I think this movie was hot garbage just based off of that. I think it's gonna be hot garbage just because. Let's be honest, it's Disney and Marvel. It's right up there now with Disney and Star Wars. I assume at this point it's gonna suck, or you've pissed off so many people that I just don't care anymore. I don't care if Marvel puts out anything right now. I'm at this point with with these guys. Wait, damn it, I can't do it. The Lions basically said, "Hey, let me know when you actually do something because I'm done giving my time and attention to you." Marvel, I'm done giving my time and attention to you until you do something good. Beep, beep. Yep.
The only thing that's making me really pay attention to Marvel right now is I want to see that Christmas special because James Gunn did it.
That's the. I'll check that out, but that's the. Like I said, the only reason is James Gunn and Chris Pratt, and I like.
And
but
I haven't seen Werewolf by Night yet. I wanted to.
I have to rewatch it. I tried watching. I was exhausted. I fell asleep. Not because it's bad. I was just really tired. But I have to rewatch it. I remember my wife liked it, so it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But all right, Adam. Let's get to comics real quick, and we'll wrap it up here. So.
All right.
Yay. Sorry, I just like it. There we go. Okay. All right. So, Adam, I have some comics I read that might intrigue you. How about this guy?
Oh, yeah, the Riddler Year One, huh? Who wrote
Riddler Year One, written by the Riddler or Paul Dano. So.
Oh, that's Paul Dano's book.
Yep. Yeah. So it's good. It's slow, but it's very much in the pace of the Batman. So it's very kind of slow. Not a ton happens, but good enough to go see what's going to happen for issue 2.
I want to get the prequel comic to that movie. There is one.
Yeah, sure. Well, there's a whole graphic novel. Is it just a graphic novel adaptation of it, or because I haven't seen the prequel or pre?
There's a whole prequel one where it shows Bruce Wayne discovering that garage Wayne basement that he's in. You know what I mean? That subway kind of thing.
Right.
And in it he discovers a passion for forensic science while he's in school, and so that's where he kind of starts falling on that. And then as he's learning to fight, he starts to incorporate other styles. So Alfred makes fun of him and calls it Bruce Jitsu or something like that to him, just to mock him a little bit. Kind of knock him down a peg or two. But then he gets into dirt bike racing real hard.
Interesting.
Yep.
One of the things, I'm not sure if this is done yet or not, but it kind of seems like it is. I think there might be one more issue, but the Aquaman Andromeda Black Label series. So
how's that going?
I had a by the end of issue 2, I had a very big issue with. I thought it was going the way of the movie Sphere, based off the book by Michael Christian, because it was very much. I was like, am I the only one who sees this is exactly like the movie and the book? But they changed course, and one of the things they still not changed, but they went with for the comic where it's kind of in the way just because I'm listening to Game of Thrones right now, where each chapter is based off of like the chapter isn't like, oh, it's chapter this, it's this person and everything from their perspective. So they do a lot of that in this book. So it's not done by chapters, but it's like, oh, such and such, and then it takes, just goes off with their storyline. So it's very structured, very rigidly like that. But I liked it. I don't know if I can give it a recommendo. I think there's one more, but that one's Ram V and Christian Ward. I love the art because it's very watercolor and it's very trippy. Like, this cover is great. Um, I moved the camera, I moved my setup a little bit, so it's hard to. But
Looks good.
yeah, I think the art's fantastic. It's great, but it's kind of one of those things where I got to see if that's actually the end, because if that's the way it ends, it's kind of like, okay. But one thing, Adam, that I thought was actually a pretty good wrap up. I wasn't sure how they were going to stick the landing, but I think they did a pretty good job. Flashpoint Beyond issue 6 of. So,
is that Dick Grayson's daughter?
Which one?
Wait, was that Batman Beyond or Flashpoint Beyond?
Flashpoint Beyond.
I apologize.
No problem. So did they stick the landing for Flashpoint Beyond? I'd say they did. One of the big things that was spoilers. One of the big things that Batman was searching for, because it goes back and forth between Batman and Thomas Wayne. Batman was searching for a snow globe, and basically, we didn't find out what the snow globe was for until we got to this issue. And once again, spoilers. But I forget exactly how it works, but basically they were able to fit the Flashpoint universe into the snow globe, and there wasn't a quantum, destroying of things, where by Thomas Wayne working on his end and Bruce Wayne working on his end, they were actually able to make both universes work. And now the Flashpoint universe is basically in a temporal snow globe. So that was pretty good, pretty clever.
That's pretty cool.
So, all right, now on to new stuff that I picked up today. Batman 129, continuing on with the fail-safe storyline. Really enjoying this. I can't recommend this one enough. Very excited to check this out. Adam, this one I've been waiting for and very excited about for a long time.
Oh, shit.
So, I have my concerns, but I'm just excited to have new Wildcats to read.
Who wrote it?
Who we have? Rosenberg, Segovia, and Santos. So, listening to other channels, I'm not super familiar with this team, so I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. Cover art looks great, but yeah, I do have my concerns. They did change. So Wildcats was originally Wild Covert Action Teams, and I forget what they changed it to, but they changed it, and I was like, why? Why would you do that? Actually, I have it on Instagram. One moment. So Wildcats is now the Wild Crisis Aversion Tactical Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan, but I'm just excited to have Wildcats. So, but yeah, so I'm just gonna give this. I can't give it a recommend, obviously, but I'm just excited. So it's one of the ones I got. But this one, Adam, this was one of the other ones that I was very excited about, and that is Deadly Duo, Mark Silvestri, Batman and Joker. Very excited to read that.
Who's on the cover of that one? Was that?
You've got Batman, Harley, and Joker.
Nice.
And it's Mark Silvestri art, so
can't go
whatever.
Wrong.
Can't go wrong. I was listening to I think it was it's the BBC, the boarding, bagging, and comics or chat, and Gary from Neurotic and As versus heel versus babyface. They have not bought any new comics in probably going on 5 years. Gary
Why?
finally, because they just don't think it's worth the money. They'd rather just buy back issues. So, but he said this is the only new comic he's bought in a few years. So,
Oh, so they go back and collect storylines. Oh, I get it. Like I do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I collect. Yeah.
Yeah, they just buy back issues. So
I thought what you meant was they just don't buy comics, but I get you with it now.
no, they go out of the way not to buy at least big two. Clarify that they don't buy brand new Marvel or DC. But that's what I've got. I'm excited.
You should be. Those are great books.
Yeah, those are fun. So I'm still getting caught up on Ninja Turtles Armageddon game. That's the big new storyline from Ninja Turtles. It's slow. It's a ton of dialogue, which makes me sound like stupid, but it's just like some of those turtle comics very wordy, very like a ton of exposition. Well, like those last Rona books, those are thick freaking comics, man. A ton of exposition. So it's like once you get through the exposition, I'm sure the story will be fine, but it's just like, frick, like holy crap, like let's go, So that's where I'm kind of hung up with Armageddon game. Oh, one comic I had a lot of fun with, and that was what is it? Name it? Creep Show. Image started up Creep Show again. I bought the first 2 issues. It's like the damn show. So it's a lot of fun. It's gory and silly, and
I bought the NECA figure.
I can't think of one NECA figure I wouldn't buy right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like if you just like, hey, I bought a NECA figure, I'm like, you got something good. I don't even care. Yeah. I can't even say like anything bad about what NECA's doing. NECA's killing it right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
right. So, I unfortunately am behind in all of my reading and have not caught up. I apologize.
So, but other than that, I think it's a good spot to wrap it up, Adam.
Yeah, I think if we don't, the show's going to lose me whether I want it to or not. I'm going.
And there he goes. Good night, everybody.
He goes. He's going. So. I apologize, folks. It's been a kinky day. Got a kink in my neck. Kinky day. No, I really have no. It was a bubble kind of a thing, and I rubbed it in the shower, and then I got out, went about the day. It's like, that's a little stiff. Ow. Ow.
Oh, no.
I was like, what? And then it finally got to being where instead of turning your head, I was going, what?
Yes, the evil. I can't turn my head, so I have to turn my entire chair to talk to you. Yeah, all you need is one of your cats on your lap to just turn very mischievously.
All I want is some frickin' sharks, some frickin' lasers.
Frickin' lasers.
But these work really well. These little ice packs.
I've got a few of those.
Yeah, these work great. Oh man.
But all right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up with the show and what we're talking about, go check us out on Instagram and Facebook, The Escape with Nick and Adam. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so because, well, let's take that back. If we have earned your subscription, please subscribe because it helps the channel out a lot. If not, we appreciate you watching anyway. If you do like the show and you want to take us on the road with you, we are on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and Google Podcasts. Adam, any last words, sir?
If you give us any chance, we're going to take it. We read city rules and we're going to break it. That's what the Laverne and Shirley theme song sounds like when you say it threatening.
Good night, America.
Love you, Houston.